Greetings, Littleton. My name is Cindy Napoli, Chairperson of the Littleton Board of Selectmen, and I'm seeking your vote for re-election on June 20th. I appreciate that many of you may not know me personally, so to begin, I'm a lifelong resident of Littleton. I've been married to Robert Napoli for 25 years, and together we have 3 amazing children and a dog named Bosco. I've built a successful career as a paralegal, and my experience in that field has given me the tools to be inquisitive and approach every situation with thoughtful consideration, which are important qualities for an elected official. But enough about me, let's talk about Littleton. Littleton is an amazing town, and there are many reasons people want to live here. Population size, location, and our excellent school system, to name a few. But it's the people, really, who make Littleton special, and we want it to remain that way. I share your concerns about development, growth, and traffic congestion, as well as the fear of losing the charm and character of our town. But with growth and development also comes new opportunities. And because of the resources we have developed, such as the Master Plan, Housing Production Plan, Littleton Common Revitalization Study, and the recently released Littleton Station Report, Littleton's AAA bond rating, as well as the team of hardworking employees and volunteers we have in place, we do have the tools to help us shape the future of Littleton in the way we have envisioned. 3 years ago, I was elected to the Board of Selectmen, and this experience has provided me with the opportunity to connect with our community on a different level, learn new things, and form valuable relationships. One of my first goals as a member of the board was to help educate our community about opioid dependency. I arranged for a screening at the high school of the film called If They Had Known. It's a documentary about a college student who died from mixing prescription drugs with alcohol. That event served as a catalyst to create the Littleton Coalition Against Addiction. And as another means to raise awareness, I hosted segments on LCTV called Stop the Stigma, Start a Conversation. These interviews gave individuals an opportunity to inspire and educate others by sharing their story about addiction and recovery. After learning about a drug abuse prevention through education curriculum called Project Alert, I collaborated with Chief Bernard in the school department to implement that curriculum at the Littleton Middle School. As an elected official, one of my biggest concerns is providing for our senior population. Littleton's Department of Elder and Human Services is currently operating in only 3,000 square feet of space, while serving our largest and most important population. Presently, I'm working with Selectmen DeCoste and our consultants to identify a location for a new senior center, and we anticipate having a proposal ready for the town by the fall. I'm passionate about many things, including affordable housing. And as co-chair of Littleton's Affordable Housing Trust, I'm working to help make Littleton affordable for everyone, including young adults, senior citizens, town employees, as well as the people we rely on every day for hospitality and other services. I'm a member of the Transportation Advisory Council and work closely with the Shade Tree Committee. I've also taken on some housekeeping tasks for the board, including updating the Selectmen's policies and regulations and the town code. One of my goals next year will be to convert Town Hall to a paperless system. My most memorable achievement was my collaboration with the Friends of Littleton Veterans, Minutemen Press of Lowell, and the Littleton Electric Light Department to create a once-in-a-lifetime tribute to our veterans and active duty military by lining the streets of Littleton last year with those amazing patriotic banners. And my proudest accomplishment was the long-awaited renovation of the Edgar P. Romley Veterans Corner. That project gave deserving attention to members of our community who served and continue to serve in the American Armed Forces, and the rededication ceremony was a true reflection of Littleton at its best. In closing, I'd like to say that the pandemic has created much uncertainty for us all, and now, more than ever, Littleton needs experienced, positive, and proven leaders. Over the past years, you've watched me lead, achieve, and bring people together, and I'm asking for your vote on June 20th. Thank you.
My name is Gino Frateroni. I am running for a seat on the Board of Selectmen. I have served the citizens of Littleton for many years in many ways. I serve on the Open Space Committee, ensuring our trail and field were protected, then on the Building Committee, when we built the high school and the middle school. I am currently on the Housing Commissioner, trying to best to help our senior citizens. I have served on the Board of Health, helping to preserve the health and welfare of our citizens in their water and quality, and most recently during the pandemic. I am always available through phone or email to all of the people of Littleton. I also belong to the Littleton Rotary and have helped in the Appleman Road race, as well as many other projects the Rotary has done to improve life in our town. I am a member of St. Anne Church and serve in their men's group. Lately, I have been asked to provide meal and masks to seniors and children, and I was able. With the help of so many wonderful ladies who volunteered to sew masks, to give out over 200 masks at this time. Also, with the help of the church in town, I have been bringing meal to seniors, citizens, and those out of work who are unable to get their own food. My wife Pamela and I have lived in Littleton for 37 years and currently live in Harvard Avenue. I feel blessed to have found this outstanding town with such loving people who care so much for their neighbors. I am asking for your vote so I can continue to serve you and your town in your town. Please vote for me, Gino Fratellone, Board of Selectmen. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hello, my name is Matthew Nordhaus, and I'm running for Select Board. I've lived in Littleton for 20 years. I'm an elected member of the Littleton Housing Authority and an assistant scoutmaster in Scout Troop 20. I've given thousands of volunteer hours to groups around town: Littleton Community Farm, the Council of Churches. I worked on Castle in the Trees along with everyone else, the Appleman, and community cleanup days. My wife Christine and I have raised our children to believe that serving our community is an important responsibility. My goal in running for Select Board is to serve Littleton by bringing an independent, rational, and open approach to town government. I have a degree in computer science from Dartmouth College. As a software developer and project director, I lead large teams with members worldwide and manage finances for multi-year, multi-million-dollar projects. I know that fiscal responsibility can mean making difficult decisions. During my career as a leader and a follower, I've learned to value equitable treatment of colleagues, respectful disagreement, collaboration. I'm used to working in a high-stress environment. In times of crisis, I prefer a measured, analytical approach. If I'm elected to the Select Board, transparency and inclusiveness will be major priorities. There are many ways to engage the public and get more people involved in the town process. A wider variety of people on town boards and committees means a greater number of Littleton residents are represented by town government. I'm committed to conservation, not just for environmental reasons, for economic reasons. Protecting farms and open space keeps taxes lower because it decreases the strain on town services. Big single-family homes need schools and running water. Though the town has done a good job of working small parcels into housing development deals, in the future we should do more to protect larger properties like the Durkee Farm and Jones Field. Once our farms and forests are turned into housing developments, they can never be replaced, and the rural character of Littleton will be lost for good. Let's talk about taxes. We have some big projects in the pipeline. As enthusiastic as I am for a new library and senior center, it'll be a stretch for some of the seniors and families to pay for them. In neighboring towns, residential taxpayers shoulder less of the financial burden than we do. That's because those towns enjoy a more robust commercial tax base. The new sewer is vital to creating that larger commercial tax base for Littleton. It will attract new business to our common. No one wants a bunch of strip malls. But using form-based code as a guide, we can revitalize the common and develop Littleton Station and preserve the small town feel that we all love. Town boards have been working on these initiatives for years, and it's exciting to see things start to come together. Until now, most development in Littleton has meant big, single-family homes on big lots. Developments on the Common and at Littleton Station could bring desperately needed affordable housing options for seniors, for single or divorced parents, and for young professionals looking to live near public transportation. But we're living in uncertain times. It's more important than ever that we're responsible in our approach to this upcoming progress. Before we get started developing the Common and Littleton Station, we must make sure that the schools and other town services can sustain the population increase. It's reasonable to expect that overcrowded classrooms aren't the top priority for a real estate development firm. And this is why we need collaboration and communication across all town boards. And we need our elected officials to truly represent the interests of the people of Littleton. I'm running for Select Board to represent the people of Littleton, and I'll vote on their side in any negotiation. I hope to bring a fresher, more modern approach to the process. I know that more open conversations with Littleton residents will help us all move forward together. In the Nordhaus family, serving our community is job one. We've seen time and again that the strength of Littleton lies in its people working together. I look forward to working with you. On June 20th, please vote Matthew Nordhaus for Select Board. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Richard Crowley, and I'm running for Planning Board. Before I begin, I would like to wish everyone a safe and secure respite during these uncertain times. In addition, my condolences go out to those of you who have lost a relative or loved one during these past few months. I can understand and grieve with you because I too have lost a close relative. The next few months and years ahead will be quite different. So, I, Richard Crowley, am running for Planning Board. I have lived here most of my adult life, over 44 years, and have seen this town change from a real rural farming community where you had to pass by an operating farm to enter town to a time where we can count the number of operating farms on one hand. I loved the rural aspect then as I do now. This is the reason I moved here in the 70s with my wife Paulette. We fell in love with Littleton and decided to live and raise our family here on our little farm near the center of town. Although there's little anyone can do about keeping farms viable in today's real estate market, there's still much we can do to keep our rural farming image. The unexpected growth, along with potential for irreversible demographic changes, are what I see as the biggest challenge to the Planning Board today. How do we keep our farming image while managing both business and residential growth? How do we enable our seniors to afford to remain here if they want to, while providing an avenue for our young adults to find a place as well? Strategic zoning and planning board management is the key, and I believe I have the experience and expertise to provide such management. I was vice chair on the master plan committee and helped draft the document that the implementation committee is escorting into place right now. I helped write the village zoning bylaw and personally ushered in the zoning protections against future automotive uses in the village. I am currently the chairman of the Massachusetts Board of Building Regulations and Standards, the BBRS. This is a state board that's charged with creating, modifying, and overseeing the state building codes, energy codes, FEMA regulations, and city and town building inspectors, along with the CSL Construction Supervisor Licensing Program. Additionally, I'm chairman of the State Board of Appeals for the Building Code and have over 10 years' experience on the Littleton Planning Board. I'm currently a member of the Permanent Municipal Building Committee, the PMBC, and was chairman on the School Building Committee for the Russell Street School, the Littleton Middle School, and in 2004 oversaw, as a member of the PMBC, the project to combine Town Hall, Russell Street School, and the middle school into a sewer pump station, along with a mile of underground sewage line and improvements to the sewer treatment plant at the high school. I am probably the best candidate suited to deal with form-based code and the introduction of a sewer district for the town village. The recent zoning amendments for inclusionary housing and senior residential development will not see their full potential without amendments. We need to do more to help our seniors remain in town and in their own homes if they choose to do so. We can do more by creating affordable housing at a price point that our kids and town employees can afford to buy. If we do nothing, then we stand to lose our most valuable resource, our seniors and our young adults. If you allow me the honor to serve our planning board once more, I promise to devote all my energies, expertise, and knowledge to help craft strategic language we need in our zoning to help keep this town looking rural, keep various business types where it makes the most sense, while helping our seniors and young adults afford to remain with us. Over the past few years, our planning board has had quite a lot of changeover, many new faces. I humbly ask for your vote on June 20th, 2020, and will make things work. I will focus on the important issues, ensure openness, and promise to work with the selectmen and other boards. It is one thing to say you can do something, but another to make it work. Please vote for me, and I will do my best to make it work for you. Sincerely, Richard P. Crowley, 359 King Street, Littleton, Mass. Thank you, and good night.
My name is Jeff Yates, and I am running for the open planning board position. I have been a Littleton resident for 30 years. During this time, my wife Laura and I have raised 2 daughters who graduated from the Littleton school system and benefited from the town's many resources and attributes. It's a great place to raise a family. In addition to living here, for the last 13 years, both my wife and I have located our businesses in the Common. I am a registered architect with a BA degree from the University of Pennsylvania and a Master of Architecture degree from Harvard University. My practice is primarily residential work throughout New England. I have been a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals for over 10 years, where I currently hold the position of Vice Chair. I was appointed to the Planning Board in February to fill the remaining term of Ed Mullins, who is now our Building Commissioner. This spring, I have been serving on both boards. If elected to the Planning Board, I will leave the Board of Appeals. I am choosing to run for the open position because I have been actively involved in decision-making on important matters that have come before the board and have been impressed with the initiatives that are being undertaken. I feel my experience as an architect brings a depth of knowledge of developers, builders, and property owners. That, combined with my tenure on the Board of Appeals and keen observation of residents' issues and desires, makes me a good candidate and hopefully full-time board member. Following are topics on which voters may have questions. Littleton Common and form-based code. Like most Littleton residents, I would like to see a better utilized and more attractive common. The Planning Board has supported the development of a form-based code, which, if adopted at the upcoming town meeting, would guide property owners and developers in the Common and area towards Donlands to build in the traditional patterns of a New England village. I have been impressed with the participatory process that allowed anyone interested to weigh in on the various options, which has resulted in modest density and envisioned mixed-use buildings. This will be a solid framework for building out the master plan that Littleton residents helped create and have repeatedly endorsed. Development balance. The Planning Board has the responsibility to keep the development of the town in balance. Proposed development should be managed so that the finances of the town are enhanced, but take into consideration the expressed desire of residents for open space and the preservation of its existing neighborhoods, vistas, and notable spaces. An example of how to manage this is an initiative currently being studied called the Transfer of Development Rights, whereby two parcels could be linked in a transaction. One parcel may be appropriate for a more intensive use, and the other could be saved from development. This transaction can be a tool for preservation that helps offset the cost of preserving land. Year-round, I take advantage of Littleton's open space nearly every day for a mid-afternoon hike. We are fortunate in having these areas with their distinctive characters and features. I have been at memorable town meetings where money has been voted on for acquiring properties. These votes are an excellent expression of our town's values where numerous individuals, organizations, and families have worked together to secure them out of a love of their natural state. The importance of these areas has never been so evident than in the last 3 months. Trails are being used all over town. I am encouraged to see appreciation for this desirable attribute of our town. Residential development. Many of the matters that come before the board are approvals for residential development. Over the years, there have been several changes to zoning to acknowledge that the basic 1-acre zoning for new houses does not meet the needs of all residents. The most notable change was the recent senior housing bylaw. The intention was to provide smaller homes with features that allow aging in place. Several of these projects have been developed, and I support assessing whether the bylaw has achieved its goals and if any further changes could be proposed to ensure its success. Also, inclusionary zoning has been adopted, which earmarks money from new development for affordable housing. In my tenure on the Board of Appeals, we approved 40B projects which result from a state mandate to maintain a subsidized housing index whereby at least 10% of the housing stock has some form of subsidy to make units affordable. Littleton can be proud that we have exceeded that goal. Business development. I know firsthand that Littleton is a desirable place to raise a family. I value our good school system, recreational spaces, and semi-rural landscape. However, these characteristics need to coexist with office and industrial development. These uses bolster our tax base that allows the robust services which are expensive for a small town. Development is continually subject to the changes in the real estate market. While the planning board cannot direct these forces, it must address them and be open to adapting to them to suit the needs of the town. In closing, the planning board is at the intersection of moving the town forward while maintaining the small town feel we cherish. If elected on a full-time basis, I would commit to actively engage and navigate through the complex decision-making needed and to promote a balance between development and the expressed will of the citizens of Littleton. I would appreciate your support on Election Day. I would appreciate your support for the planning board's initiatives at town meeting this coming week. Finally, you can see the statement on the Facebook page, Jeff Yates for Planning Board. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Wilson, and I'm up for re-election to the school committee. Over the past 3 years as a member of the Littleton School Committee, I have remained focused on making decisions that benefit all students in Littleton. If re-elected, I will continue to provide support to children of all strengths, needs, and abilities. I'm the mother of 2 young children who are both students at Shaker Lane School. I've had firsthand experience with the challenges that parents face navigating the special education process, and I've worked closely with teachers and the school nurse for 504s and IEPs. My personal experience with these aspects of the school system sets me apart from other candidates. Over the past 3 years on the school committee, each of my votes has been made with all Littleton students in mind. I've reviewed research and have taken a data-driven approach to my votes. My educational, professional, and volunteer experiences have made me a well-rounded candidate for school committee. In my senior year of high school, I was a full-time dual enrollment student and I took all of my classes at UMass Amherst. While at UMass as an undergrad, I volunteered in elementary after-school learning programs and in fine art summer theater programs. Professionally, I developed and managed educational software for elementary through college-age students. Over the past year, I've returned to school myself, this time for nursing. My passion is to help others and ensure that all students have the opportunity to learn to the best of their abilities. My academic and professional careers have made me a strong advocate for differentiated learning methods. Over the next 3 years, I will continue to support Littleton's efforts and focus on the growth and success of all types of learners. Over the last 3 years as a member of the school committee, I've had discussions with Littleton parents and guardians to talk about Littleton schools. Our great schools are one of the primary reasons why my husband Ben and I chose to buy a home in Littleton 9 years ago. Our schools are some of the best in the state, but that doesn't mean we can't build upon that strong foundation and continue to improve. I will continue to partner with the other members of the school committee, district administrators, and families to listen to and address community concerns to strengthen our schools. As a member of the school committee, I will advocate for small class sizes as our town grows. I will promote well-rounded programs to educate our children, including health, culture, athletics, and the arts. I will protect the excellent programs already in place that make our school strong. I will support the learning journey from Shaker Lane all the way through high school graduation, and I will work to prepare our students to be lifelong learners, ready for college and careers. I look forward to working with the community and being an advocate for all students in Littleton. Thank you, and I would like to ask for your vote on June 20th.
Hi, I'm Brad Austin, and I'm running for a seat on Littleton's school committee. I'm running because I believe that my blend of experience and expertise might be useful over the next 3 years as we continue to build a school system that challenges and educates all of our children. Let's face it, over the next 3 years, the school committee, along with our leadership team, is going to face a whole host of challenges. Some we can anticipate, and some we can't. Because of this pandemic and its effect on our budgets, the committee is going to confront questions about student and staff safety, curriculum, methods of instruction, sports, band and the arts, and many, many more topics. If I'm elected, I'll bring the ability to consider the questions before us from at least 3 different and, to my mind, valuable perspectives. That of a parent, that of an educator, and that of an experienced member of oversight boards. I'm a dad of 2 Littleton public school kids. My older daughter Stella is a rising junior who is involved in the arts, band, dance, and theater. My younger daughter Phoebe just finished 3rd grade, and she loves reading and playing sports, soccer, lacrosse, and basketball especially. I spent a lot of time over the past 16 years in Littleton, in auditoriums and on sidelines. I've seen all of the schools in our system, and have a real appreciation for the opportunities they provided my daughters. I've also seen how they can be even better, and I'd like to help in that process. I see our schools through the eyes of a parent, but also through the eyes of an educator. I've taught modern American and world history at Salem State University for 18 years, and I also teach courses in the School of Education there. I've published 3 books on history and education, and I've spent time in dozens of middle and high schools across the Commonwealth over the past 2 decades supervising student teachers. I've also played a role in shaping the statewide curriculum for social studies. I believe that my spending a good proportion of my professional life teaching and thinking about how schools can best prepare students for citizenship, college, and the workforce would help with school committee deliberations. I also have some experience in oversight boards. I served for 4 years as a member of my alma mater's board of trustees. In this role, I had to work with large budgets and limited resources, and I'm afraid that experience might be relevant in the coming years. I helped to make curriculum changes, adding majors and programs, and have helped hire college presidents and deans. I currently serve as the president of the Decibels Foundation. It's a nonprofit that strives to make sure that all deaf and hard of hearing kids, like my Phoebe, have the support and resources they need to reach their potential in schools and in life. That advocacy experience will also probably be relevant. I believe that these experiences and perspectives have prepared me to ask the types of questions that we'll need to ask as a school committee over the next 3 years. They've also prepared me to listen to a variety of constituencies when figuring out which approaches to support. My students will assure you I love asking questions, and if elected, I promise to work with the leaders and citizens of Littleton to find answers that will strengthen and improve our schools. Look, we're fortunate in Littleton. We have a lot of really well-qualified people who are willing to serve on the school committee. If you think I'm one of them, then I'd appreciate your vote on June 20th. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Timolyn Rossius, and I'm running for one of the 2 seats on the Littleton School Committee. I was born and raised in Worcester, Massachusetts. I attended public schools through 8th grade, and then I attended St. Peter Marian Central Catholic High School. I attended Worcester State College and Becker College, where I received a degree in computer science. After graduating, I worked in the computer programming field for a short time, and I decided sitting in a cubicle was not what I wanted. I needed to be working with people. My roommate at the time was a nanny and knew of a family in need of someone to watch their kids. So I took a job and worked for the family for almost 3 years until I moved to New York in 1995. Over the next 7 years, Mike and I moved a couple times with his job, and I worked for companies in New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, working as an office manager and accounts receivable and payable. Mike and I were married in September of 2000. We had our first daughter, Samantha, in 2001. We moved to Littleton in June of 2002, just in time to celebrate Samantha's first birthday. Over the next 4 years, we had 2 more children, Alexandra in 2003 and Lucas in 2006. Samantha just finished her freshman year at the University of Vermont. Lexi is in 11th grade, and Lucas is in 7th grade. Over the past 14 years, I have volunteered on many boards in our community: Littleton Youth Baseball, Softball, Littleton Youth Wrestling, and I am currently on the Littleton Youth Lacrosse Board. I was also a Girl Scout leader and a youth softball coach, but my biggest passion has always been PTA. I began volunteering for PTA when my oldest, Samantha, started kindergarten. Since 2006, I have volunteered in all 4 of our schools and worked with all of the current administration and countless staff. Being on PTA has given me an opportunity to talk to many people about what they want and what the school's needs are, and how we can help our children learn with the most current tools and applications. I believe my years on PTA can bring a new perspective to the school committee. Our schools have been rated some of the best in Massachusetts, but there is always room to build upon the great foundation that we have, and I believe I can help do that. As a member of the Littleton School Committee, I will work for our children, not just the children in the schools now, but those that will attend in the future. I will listen and work with my fellow school committee members, administration, staff, parents, townspeople, and other boards in town to keep our schools strong for years to come. I encourage you to reach out to me. I want to talk to people. I love to hear new ideas and perspectives. I know mine are not the only ones. So remember to get out and vote on June 20th. Thank you for your support.